Hey everybody, Rebecca here for the June budget review. But before we hop into the budget, I just wanted to take a second and say that I really appreciate all of the kind words that I got in the last video that I made. And if you're a channel member, please make sure that you watch that video, because I am going to eventually do away with the Fire Fam level of the channel memberships. I'm only going to have the lower tier $2.99 a month Fire followers channel membership level, and most of you are still at the Fire Fam level. And yeah, make sure you watch that video that I put out most recently. I just basically don't feel like I am putting out enough content for you guys at the higher level to justify that $4.99 a month. Am I saying that I'm not worth a cup of fancy coffee? Maybe, I don't know, you guys, but I just don't feel like that I am putting out enough exclusive content for you guys at that level to justify the $4.99 a month. I know that a lot of you just support me at that level because you really appreciate what I'm trying to do on the channel here, and you find your own motivation watching my journey to reach financial independence. But still, I would feel better about it personally if I am just able to delete that Fire Fam level on the channel memberships and have everyone be at the $2.99 a month Fire followers level. You'll still see all of my real numbers with investing, all of that stuff. So enough about that. If you missed it, make sure you watch the last video that I put out, and let's take a look at how the June 2023 budget turned out for the month. Everybody, here we are looking at my June 2023 budget. I like to use Google Sheets for my month-to-month budgets. If you like this format, you can download this budget spreadsheet for free. Check the first link in the description box down below. You'll need to click on File and then make a copy for yourself, so that way you can edit your own numbers in here. Starting at the top as usual with my net income for the month, I do have my individual paychecks blacked out for privacy. If you're new to the channel, I work third shift. I am in healthcare. I do ultrasound for a living, and even though I block out my individual paychecks on the channel, I do show my total income at the bottom down here. So these other sources of income listed here, the carryover is what I carried over from last month into June. And I usually don't have a lot that I carry over from month to month. I prefer to invest everything that I have left over at the end of the month, and I leave just a little bit of buffer just in case I have forgotten to put something in the budget, or yeah, if there's something I forgot about that comes out of my checking account, I do leave a little bit of a buffer in there. So from last month, I carried over $108.09, and this Fidelity credit card line item here is the 2% cash back that I get automatically every month from using my Fidelity credit card. That gets invested back into my Fidelity account, and I like to keep track of that just because I track my savings rate within the budget, and all of the spending that I do every month goes onto my Fidelity credit card, and y'all can see that, you know, $75.48 from credit card rewards is pretty nice, and I pay off this card in full every month, so there is no interest that I pay for this credit card. This is just purely rewards that come back to me that I get to use for investing, so it's motivating for me to track that. AdSense is my YouTube income, and I do not earn enough on YouTube, even though I am monetized, to get a payout every single month. You have to make at least $100 before YouTube will pay you out, and I get a YouTube check every couple of months here recently. The AdSense revenue has been down a lot lately, and that's fine. You know, I never meant for this to become like my main source of income, or a side hustle turned into a main hustle, or some sort of business. This is just something that I do for the fun of it, to document my own journey, just to show that the average person who is not generally a six-figure earner from year to year can reach financial independence, even if you're starting a little later in life. Because when I started this journey, I was in my early 30s, and before I could even really get started with investing and working my way to financial independence, I had to dig my way out of quite a bit of consumer debt. So that's where I started on this channel, and I am now recently finally in the spot where I can start investing a lot more, and that feels really good, to be honest. But the totals for the June 2023 income, I expected to bring in about $4,780, and I brought in $4,870, so a little bit extra there, which was nice. Moving down into my bills and spending section here, it is always nice when this bills and spending section fits onto the screen when I film these videos. A lot of times I get a little squirrely with my spending, and the line items end up being really long. But I am doing a low spend challenge for 2023 this year, and that has really kind of helped keep my spending in check. But starting at the top as usual, my mortgage payment every month is $840. I live in North Carolina. It's a low cost of living area here compared to some other places in the country, so I try to take advantage of that as much as possible. I specifically bought a house that was small, that needed some renovations. My intention is to reach financial independence and retire early, so I intentionally chose to sell my old house at near the peak of the real estate market, and I bought a house that was modest. And honestly, I think that has been one of the key things that has really helped push along my FIRE journey as much as it has. So just being aware of the larger macroeconomic environment can really help push along your FIRE journey if this is something that you want for yourself. Yes, looking at monthly budgets is incredibly helpful. It helps keep my spending in check and really motivates me to see when I'm investing a lot. But, you know, most people's largest expenses, they say, are housing, transportation, and food costs. So if you can focus on those three in some way, shape, or form and keep your costs down, then that's only going to increase that gap, that savings rate, the amount that you have left over at the end of the month to be able to invest. And that's really what I focus on here. Looking at my utilities, this includes my trash pickup, water, sewer, electricity every month. I budgeted $125. It came in at $118.86. Internet is $65.25 every month. That was on target. Gas for my car, I budgeted $120 and I came in at $95.68. So far we're pretty good in this budget, but y'all can see my food and household budget. This is part of the low spend challenge that I had set for myself, so this was a fail this month. I did go over my food and household spending for the month. I budget $600 every month, and that includes anything that I pick up when I'm out grocery shopping every week, and it's just me and my cat and my dog here. So in theory, I should be able to keep this number under $600, and I have for every month out of 2023 except for June this month and one other month where I went slightly over by like $12 or something. So my low spend challenge this month for keeping my food and household budget under that $600 level was a fail, but I'm actually not disappointed by this number because I bought extra supplies this month for things that are going to help me save money in the long run. I have recently been gifted a SCOBY, and I have started making my own kombucha at home, so that's going to save me money in the long run. I am also experimenting with doing a second ferment on this kombucha and making my own hard kombucha at home. So if I learn how to do that pretty well and get something that is tasty out of it, then that would mean that not only do I not have to buy kombucha from the store anymore, but maybe I don't have to buy alcohol from the grocery store anymore either if your girl is learning how to homebrew. So that's an ongoing experiment, but it did require some extra purchases for my food and household budget that I wouldn't normally make during the month. So I did go over a little bit buying the amber jars that I needed and lids that fit with airlocks and all of that stuff for making the hard kombucha. I have also started to recently make my own homemade kefir, because if you buy kefir from the store, it can be a little bit pricey. And honestly, the kefir is the simplest thing to do ever. I am so glad that I got the grains to start doing it at home. And really the only extra things that I had to buy to do that was just a few extra jars to ferment the kefir at home myself. So I am experimenting with these fermented foods, adding into my diet. And honestly, it's been a really good thing for my gut bacteria. I have, just side note, have been so much less bloated since I have started doing this than before. So it's definitely worth it, and it is saving me some money from having to buy these things from the grocery store. So all of that to say that I did go over just a little bit on my food and household budget, but I ain't mad about it. So next line item after that is my car insurance, and I do pay this semi-annually, so every 6 months I pay my car insurance, and it hit in June, and that was $529.10, so I knew this was coming. The next couple of things here I did not budget for ahead of time. This eRad Imaging is a company that I like to use to maintain my continuing education credentials. Being an ultrasound technologist, I need to keep 30 continuing education credits every 3 years to keep my ultrasound license. So this company here has a lot of online courses that you can take and earn your continuing education credit hours that way. And I paid $54.95 for an annual membership to this company, and I haven't actually gotten any continuing education credit hours. I need to do that soon, but anyway, I will do that at some point this year. I decided to go ahead and just bite the bullet and get this eRad imaging this month, since I had done pretty well on my spending thus far. The next line item here is Richard. This is my neighbor who every once in a while is very kind, and he will come and cut my grass for me, and he did that. And I really have a problem with people doing things for me for free just to be kind. I don't know why that is. I really struggle with that, but I hated to have him just come and cut my grass for nothing. So I sent him $40 through Zelle, and I know that's what he charges my neighbor every time he cuts her grass. I asked him what he charges her because I just didn't want him to come cut my grass for free, and he did not ask for payment, but I sent him the $40, and he sent me a message and said, thanks, but you know you don't have to pay me every time I do something just to be nice. And I'm like, I know, but I can't for some reason. I don't know. I really struggle with that, you guys. I don't know if it's just part of the ultra independence thing about me. It probably is, but I really have a hard time letting people do things for me just to be nice. Personality flaw, I guess. So last line item here, the personal spending for the month. Budgeted $125 like usual, but I had a mental goal to not do any personal spending in June, and yeah, y'all can see that was a fail. So this is the other part of the low spend challenge for 2023 for me. My goal for the year is to not spend more than $2,000 on personal spending. At the start of June, that is what this number out to the side is. This is how much money I had left to spend for the year, $846.32. And I wasn't going to do any personal spending in June, but yeah, I ended up spending $360.37. So $100 of that was, I bought some earbuds that came up as an advertisement for me on Facebook. These are designed specifically for side sleepers, which I am a side sleeper, and they're super small earbuds. And with me being a third shift worker, I really struggle to sleep during the daytime because there is just noise that happens around me. And I have bought some sleep earbuds before, some really expensive Bose brand earbuds, and they were too big for my ears. Whenever I would sleep on my side, it would hurt and I couldn't really use them. I ended up returning those, but while I had them, if I was laying on my back, it really was helpful to be able to use like a sleep app and listen to some nature sounds for me, and it would help me sleep during the day. So when I saw these advertised on Facebook for specifically side sleepers, that they were small, and I was like, okay, that would be perfect for me. And honestly, if it will help me sleep better during the day, being a third shift worker, it was worth it. So I spent $100 on those. The rest of this, $360.37, is actually a concert ticket. So I did not know that this tour was happening, but when I saw it advertised, I knew that the ticket sales were going to go on sale soon, and I decided that if I was going to go to the concert, that I really wanted to get a good ticket, be as close to the stage as possible. So I bought a ticket to go see Heilung. I don't even know if that's how you say the band name properly. I've never seen them in a live performance before, but I love their music, and I'm excited to go and see them for the first time ever, and I got myself a good ticket near the front of the stage. So yeah, it was kind of expensive to get that ticket, but I think it will be worth it. I guess you could call that a fail for the low spend too, but really I need to do something to get out of this funk that I am in, and maybe going to see a live performance will help with that. So I don't regret spending this month at all. I just went over what I thought I would spend, so yeah, I don't have much left to spend for the rest of the year for personal spending, and that's okay. I meant for the low spend challenge to be a challenge, and it's gonna be a challenge for the rest of the year, y'all. We'll see how this goes. I have 6 months left out of the year, and I have less than $500 now to spend on personal spending for the rest of the year, so we'll see how that works out. As for the debt section in my budget, I only have my car payments left as far as a non-mortgage debt for me, and I pay $555 every month. This is a little bit more than the minimum payment. That way I can see this balance drop every couple of months by $1,000. And when the month started, I owed $22,942.35 on my car. I bought a new Chevy Trailblazer in 2021 at a 1.98% fixed interest rate. So really good interest rate. I'm not really paying this car off aggressively. I would prefer to just invest the extra money that I have, but still I do throw a little bit extra at it just to see the balance drop by $1,000 every couple of months. So at the beginning of June, I owed this amount, and I made my $555 payment. And when that went through, I now owe $22,422.20. Yay for that. So next month in August, when my July payment goes through, I will be under the $22,000 threshold, and I can color in the next icon on my final debt payoff color chart that I have for this car. So that'll feel good. And I think I forgot to mention earlier, but this $128,172.94, this is what I owed on my house at the beginning of the month. And this number out to the side here, it usually is an overage or an under budget notation for me, so that way I can see if I go over something or if I am under budget on something. But for the house payment here, this is the amount of principal payoff that I had for the month. Moving down into the bottom section here, so the investing and fire tracking portion of the budget, this portion of the budget is for channel members only. I show all of my investing accounts that I have, how much I put into those accounts every month, including my employer-sponsored retirement account, but I only show those numbers for the channel members. So if you are a channel member, then check the membership section for the video on this, but I do still publicly show my savings rate for the month and my percentage progress towards my FIRE number. So y'all can see here, firstly, the totals for the month. I ended up with $18.85 that rolled over into July. So not a lot, but again, that's intentional. I prefer to just invest what I have left over at the end of the month. And my savings rate for the month was 45.27%. So I'm happy with that. I would love to see at least a 50% savings rate every month. But I knew that I was not going to hit that this month because I had a larger expense in my semi-annual car insurance payment that came out in June. So knowing that I wasn't going to hit that 50% mark, yeah, I did the personal spending. I was like, okay, I'll buy the $100 sleep earbuds. I would love to go see Hai Lung in person, so I'm going to buy the concert ticket and go. And I spent the $360 for the personal spending, and then, you know, $40 to Richard too, and this ERAD imaging, which would have been something I would have had to spend at some point. I just went ahead and did all this stuff. But despite all of that, I did still manage a 45.27% savings rate, so I'm not really mad about that at all. June ended up being a pretty good month overall financially for me. What I include in my savings rate is my pre- and post-tax investing, and I also include the principal mortgage payoff into my savings rate. So yeah, 45% for the month, not too bad. And my am I financially independent yet? My percentage progress towards my goal is just over 42%. So getting there. I should be happier about these numbers than I am, but yeah, I've just been in a funk lately. I'm happy to see the numbers go up, and I know I'm making good progress every month. So the goal for me is to just hold the course, basically. Just keep doing what I'm doing. Keep tracking my progress here on YouTube. It keeps me motivated to keep going. I hope that you guys found some motivation from the numbers yourself, and yeah, if you do, then leave me a like for this video down below. Comment how June went for you, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye, y'all.